Okay, I like the rules. I love the rules. Well, I guess I should start with the introduce myself. Hello, my name is Denina Bautti, and I'm the founder and the owner of Sage Action Consulting, a consulting firm where I help individuals and organizations to slow down, to engage more deeply, and to move forward with intention. And I do that through offering public speaking, facilitation, and trauma-informed mindfulness. Oh, all right. This question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentically are you living your life, online and offline? Oh, I'm going to start with offline. Offline, I'm going to say a 9. I'm going to say a 9 because a 10, there's always room to grow. Maybe even an 8, but I'm going to say an 8 or 9. And I would say that because I've worked really hard to live authentically. I've shed my people-pleasing behavior. I've stopped trying to be performative and just said, this is me. And I'm doing the things I love. I'm living independently. So I would say offline, definitely an 8 or 9. Online, let's say a 7. Let's say a 7. Because I think I try to be authentic online, but we all have that tendency to want to just show our, best polished self online. So for fear, I think that people will, especially having a business, fear of showing too much, either too much vulnerability, too much of who I am politically, personally. I'm always afraid that's going to scare some people off online. Lots of room for growth there. So maybe I'm even more like a 6, but like to grow to a 10. Oh, okay. You can read the room and change course to keep people safe. Where did you learn that skill? Ooh, I think I always had that skill intuitively. I don't know if I always listened to it, but I do believe that I always had that skill. But I think I honed it in more by being in settings where people didn't read the room. And then like sitting there and being very frustrated that, isn't it obvious we need a break? Or isn't it obvious we have questions, and feeling not seen or seen but ignored. So I think I always had that ability somewhat. I'm a little more sensitive as a person, so I think I can tune into energy. So I can sense when people aren't comfortable or they have questions and we need to move on, but also just being on the other side. I don't know. I think I'm just a weirdo. I think I'm just a weirdo that has that ability. I think it's a gift to be able to do that. So yeah, that's a great question. I'm really not sure where it comes from. Maybe from paying attention. I feel like I'm pretty observant, that I'm like probably a little more observant than some others of my surroundings. So yeah, I can kind of hone in, and I do believe I'm a very empathetic person, so I can see when, oh, that person looks like they're troubled, or wow, they're really holding a lot of joy today. So I think just being able to trust what I'm seeing, and act on it, especially as I've gotten older, get more confident. Okay. Why has communicating who you are and what you do felt hard, even though you're a public speaker and strong communicator? Oh, wow. That's a great question. That's such a great question, because I feel like I'm a good communicator, both in spoken word as well as written. I think it's probably that wanting to feel validated. So there's some nervousness that, oh, if I put this out there, if I say this, how's that going to be received? And maybe that's that little bit of people pleasing part that's still hanging on, or fear of judgment. Some of it may also be because being raised Catholic, being raised by an immigrant parent, you weren't encouraged you were encouraged to work hard. You weren't encouraged to speak about yourself. It wasn't. That was almost seen as you were bragging if you were talking a lot about who you are. I don't know if shame is the right word. Ooh, maybe lack of confidence, I guess, is a better way to say it. Like, am I really, or fear of better one. Fear of authenticity, fear of, oh, if I really put that out there, if I really show people who I am, yeah, is that going to scare them? Is that going to make them run away? Is that going to make them judge me? So I don't know if it's so much shame as fear. Fear, definitely. We hit that on the head. Fear. Oh, great. Next question's about fears. What fears are holding you back from fully expressing yourself authentically? Well, I answered some of that. I think that it is that fear of judgment, that fear of who do you think you are? You know, like not wanting to, I don't know, equality is really important to me. Equality, equity. I think everybody is important. Everybody matters. Everybody has gifts to share with the world. And I think maybe some of those messages from when I was younger that kind of, you know, just fit in, don't rock the boat, don't stand out. So I think some of those things make me afraid. Or I've had people express their opinions about me liking things that are different. I like different music. I definitely do not walk the path that's well trodden. I feel like I go sometimes to my own detriment. I take the long way around, and sometimes there's some judgment around that about why are you making things hard for yourself, or why are you going that way? Why don't you do it the way everybody else is doing it? So I think there's maybe that fear of being different, even though I feel like we're all different. So yeah, maybe that's what holds me back a little bit, is that feeling like I won't be accepted and honored for who I am. I feel like I'm growing a lot in that realm. Like if we would have been sitting here 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have answered things completely different, because I was much more concerned about that then. Now I've had to go through this shedding of relationships, shedding of ideas about who I was, to say, no, this is me. So I feel like those fears are less now, but there's still a little bit that's still there. Some of it, I think, was intentional, was learning boundaries and learning my own worth, and saying, wait a minute, this isn't, I deserve better. I deserve to be treated like the goddess I am. And whether it was a friend, whether it was a family member, whether it was an intimate partner, and when that didn't happen, it's like, wait, life's a little too short. I'm not going to tolerate this. Some of it was some of those people just choosing to leave my life, and then getting the lesson afterwards, like, oh wait, this was a blessing. So I think it was a combination of the two. Next question. Ooh, what is your mission? What drives you to do what you do? That's interesting you say that, because I remember having to write a mission statement years ago. Of course, I can't remember it right now. But in terms of like what drives me to do what I do, I would say my mission is to offer spaces where people feel like they can be themselves, where they feel included, they feel like they belong, they feel comfortable to share their opinions and express themselves, and offering a space where they can grow at their own pace, whether I'm working with individuals or whether I'm working with organizations, so that they really feel validated. What drives me to do what I do is the belief that everybody has worth. One of my teachers once said, every person is a person of worth, and they are. And I think seeing that, I think part of my purpose here on this earth is to help people, if they don't see that, to hold the mirror up so they can, or to help them to grow in a way that they can see that, oh yeah, I am worthy exactly the way I am right now, right here. Don't need to change, don't need to do anything differently. I am worthy because I am. Ooh, what do you all of them? I'm like, ooh, you should have dinner with me. I'm like, So, what are you learning to love about yourself? I am learning to love my flaws. And there's many, right? Because we all have flaws. I'm learning to love my flaws, my shadow, those parts of me that I maybe in the past would have felt ashamed about. I'm learning to embrace those, because they're part of me. It's all part of me. The light, the dark, the things I label as good, the things I label as bad. I'm learning to love all of them, all of those all of those things, because, we need the light with the dark. This morning was a perfect example. It was dark and rainy when I first woke up, and then the sun started shining, and then it was raining and the sun was shining at the same time, and I'm like, and that's really who we are. We're a collection of all of that. So I'm learning to love all of those parts, those parts that I judge, those parts that I want to show people, those parts I don't want to show people. My relationship to dance and movement. I'm going to start with that. I can't sit still. You notice, look at my hands moving. I'm somebody that struggles to sit still. I love movement for movement's sake. I'm not competitive in any way. I always tell people, please don't ask me to be on your softball team. First of all, I don't play softball, and I'm not competitive. I would just be out there goofing around. So movement and dance, I find, are ways to really feel every part of my being, to be in my body, to express myself, to just really be me. So that leads, I guess, to the next question, is that's what I want people to feel. I want people to feel movement for movement's sake and for how it feels, not how it looks. And so when I teach, I encourage people to let the music move through you. So rather than thinking about how should I be moving to this music, that's where I think dance can be. I don't call it dance when I teach, because dance is a loaded term for some people. Dance does imply performing. So people were thinking, am I moving the correct way to this beat? Where I want movement to be whatever you want it to be. Do you want to flail your arms around? Do you want to stomp around? Do you want to curl up in a fetal position? What do you want to do? What does your body need right now? So that's what I hope people get whenever I'm teaching any movement practice, is that freedom to be in their body and to feel it for how it feels right now, and to move the way it wants to move right now, which is different from day to day to day. So want them to, that's why I think it's a great practice for mindfulness, because it's like, how does your body want to move right now in this present moment? Oh, how has this experience been for you? How does it feel to allow yourself to be seen? Oh, well, when I came in, I think I said that it was like waiting to go to the dentist. So this experience has been powerful. It's been powerful. It's been scary, because it's required me to get out of my comfort zone. I can be vulnerable, in the privacy of my own home, or I can be vulnerable with maybe one trusted friend, but to be able to be vulnerable to the world, to be able to put myself out there that way, is a little uncomfortable and a little scary, but so necessary to grow and to be able to really show who I authentically am. Vulnerability is power. It really is. And I'm starting to step into that a little more. I feel like I've been stepping into my power for years, and this is just the next step of it, is being openly vulnerable. How does it feel to allow yourself to be seen? Something else I said whenever I first came in here is, I have no problem being seen in front of a group of people. I can speak in front of a huge group of people and feel really comfortable. But it's usually because I'm sharing something I'm passionate about. I'm not talking about myself. I may share little snippets or stories from my life, but I'm there for a purpose. I'm there to share. I'm there to give them some tools for grounding, for self-growth. So to allow myself to be seen feels, again, a little scary, but also liberating and freeing. Like, okay, I'm taking the mask off. I'm taking the coat off. I'm allowing myself to, I'm taking the clothes off, right? And allowing myself to kind of just be here in my raw, authentic, pure self, saying, here I am. Here I am. Oh, okay. Oh, any final thoughts? Just thank you. Thank you for giving me this platform, for giving others this platform to allow us to grow in ways that maybe we don't normally have that opportunity to do, and to get uncomfortable, right? We have to get uncomfortable to grow. If we stay in that same, I think it's easy to stay with the familiar, right? To stay with the comfortable, to say, all right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna, eat whatever, eat the same food, have the same experiences, but having to get out of your comfort zone, really, it shows you who you are. It helps you to grow. It's why I like to travel alone. Traveling alone, traveling alone teaches you a lot. Can you be with yourself while you're away? Can you find things to do? Can you be okay when you're feeling lonely? When you travel alone, there's times you do feel a little lonely. You're like, oh, I wish was sharing this with somebody. So what do you do with that? How do you, and it's just a way to, I don't know, to keep growing on this path. As long as I'm alive, I'm growing, right? When I stop growing, I'm not here anymore. My time's up. So I come from a line of people that say at a certain age you can't do things. Like tap dance. I take tap dance class. Love tap dance class. It is so humbling for me because I take a beginner and advanced beginner, which is kind of funny that it's called advanced beginner because God only knows what intermediate or advanced would actually be like. Because it's really, I look at it as it's an exercise in mindfulness. Because as soon as my head goes somewhere else, I'm done. I can't follow any of the steps, and it's really humbling because, especially the advanced beginner, oh, I'm terrible most days at it. But I'm like, that's okay. I love that my teacher says if you're moving, you're doing it right. So I just keep moving. But my family, you're too old to tap dance. Like, I am not too old to do anything that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, so I come from this, I don't know, line of people that think you do certain things and then you hit a certain age and you don't do it anymore. Physically, there's things I have to maybe not do so much of anymore just because it's not good for my body. I don't feel like that's necessary. Maybe that's an age thing. Tap has taught me to listen to my body and to let go of ego. Perfect example in the advanced beginner class last week, I think it was, we were learning a new step and I was like doing a terrible job. And she always gives us stages. Like you could do stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. You can back it up a little. And my ego was getting in the way. And I was like, I should be able to do this, second stage of it. And I was like, but I'm not. So I'm like, back up, do the first stage. And then I did the first stage and was like, oh, and I'm like, and this is what you teach. You teach people to be, to honor where they are, to make practices accessible. So practice what you preach and teach. So,
Yes.
So that's been a great lesson for me. That's been one of my joys is tap dance. I can be in the worst mood. I can be down. I can be angry, and then I'll be like, oh, I always feel a little lighter